Hello, I'm Lahir Fernando. I'm a UiPath MVP, a RPA team lead, and a solution architect. In today's session, we'll be talking about AI Fabric and how it's being used with document understanding to build AI models to process various kind of documents. So, in first of all, let's see how we can enable the AI Fabric. So once you log into your cloud platform, and it can be a trial license or it can be your enterprise version. You need to go to admin screen, and under tenants you will find your tenant. In that, click on these three dots and go to edit services, and you can click on this AI Fabric on this checkbox to enable AI Fabric on this tenant. And once you have done that, go to edit licenses and scroll down where you will find AI Fabric. So for the AI Fabric to work, you need the type AI robot to process these AI models. So by default, for trial license, you will get two AI robots. And if you are using the enterprise version, you need to make sure that you already have access to this kind of robots. So I'm using the trial version. So I have two robots available. So I'm using all two in this tenant. And the GPUs are more like a extra CPU where you can provide extra processing power on these machine learning models. So on the trial license, we don't have GPUs, but if you are using the enterprise version, you might be able to use GPUs if it's available in your license. Now, once you have configured that, click on save so that the two AI robots will be allocated to your tenant and the AI fabric will be enabled. And one other important point is one AI robot can process up to two machine learning models. And if you are using two AI robots, you can have four machine learning models altogether in your AI fabric. So once you have configured that, once the AI fabric is enabled, you will see AI fabric over here. So you can either click on this link or you can go to AI fabric to get to the AI fabric application. So it's coming in as a part of the cloud platform. So I already have some projects. So let's create a new project. You can click on this create project and provide a name. I will say test documents. And you can also provide a document description or project description. And once you create, you will get a screen similar to this. So you will already get a dashboard where you can look at the type of data sets you already have, the machine learning packages you are using in these projects, and also the pipelines. So the data sets are used to train the models where you actually store the training data, the training documents, all the other information is under data sets. ML packages is where you either upload your own machine learning models that you created using Python. If not, we already have out of the box packages that UiPath is already providing. We can use that. And if you go to pipelines, this is where those models are getting trained, and we can go through that later. And once the machine learning models are published, it will be under ML skills. And all the processing we do here will be logged under ML logs. So getting back to the ML packages, since we are focusing on the document understanding, so if you go to out of the box packages, we have a lot of open source packages available for language, for image processing, and for various other stuff. So if you actually go to UiPath document understanding, we can see different pre-built models available. document understanding, invoices, and specialized scheme of invoices for Australia and India, purchase orders, receipts, and another model for utility bills. So what you can do is you can select whatever the model you need and add it to the ML packages. So in my case, I will select purchase orders. So once you click on it, it will provide you the description and few other links that you can go through and understand more about this machine learning package. Additionally, you will get the input description and the output description. Basically, in this, the input will be the data you provide through the document, and the document can be in PDF, TIFF, or JPG, or in other PNG formats. The output of this will be the extracted data that's coming from the machine learning skill, and there are different versions as well. So as of now, this is the only version we have. So one important thing is these models are retrainable, as you can see here. So you can either use the data manager to retrain these models, or you can use the pre-built or predefined schema of data that we can use as the initial step for this model to work. So I'll show you how to do that once we create this package. So once you have gone through this, you can click on submit, and we just need to provide a name here. So I will say ML purchase order, and you can also provide a description and input description. So these are by default, it's captured from the same description that's already available. And you can also define if you are using a OCR engine. So this is optional. So under this, you can specify if you really need to use a OCR, whether it's mandatory. And we have Microsoft Read OCR, Google Cloud, and UiPath. So as of now, I will select no OCR. And if you have any OCR URLs, you can mention that as well, along with the API key. So let's create the package. So once the package is created, you can see that package version is 1.0, the created time, the change logs, and the status is undeployed because we have not deployed it yet in machine learning skills. So you can also see additional information, like you can delete it, or you can click on this image there where you can see the information of the package. So you can see that training is already enabled, and they are recommending GPU, but we are not using it as of now. Right. So how do you get the initial schema for these purchase orders that we can use to publish it? So if we actually go to data sets, we need to publish or upload the schema into this data set so that it can be used for the machine learning package to publish or deploy. So you can find that information in this URL. So it's under configuring data manager. So you can go through this file path, and if you scroll down, you can find a list of links where it says the predefined schemas for invoices, receipts, purchase orders, utility bills, and so on. So these schemas are mainly used in the data manager to train these models. So as of now, we can also use this same schema to publish in the data sets so that the already available machine learning package can use it to deploy itself under machine ML skills. So you can click on this link depending on the ML model that you are using. So I'm using purchase order, so I would click on this, and once the package or the zip file is downloaded, the content will look something similar to this. So we have a schema.json file and we have a split CSV file. So if I open this split, the split file will look something similar to this. You don't have much information, you just see file subset. So it's using that to separate the files that we are processing. And if you check the schema.json, it will basically have the fields that it's capable of extracting along with the data type. So you can see the PO number, which is the type of string, the date is type of date, again the client name is string, and so on. And we have multi-line, which means it is capable of extracting the address in, so the address can have, that field can have multiple values. In that case, it will also look for multiple data and it will also be capable of extracting the information from multiple lines. Likewise, it will have all the fields that it can extract along with the few other information like the currency data and so on. Okay, so once you have downloaded that, you just need to go to AI Fabric and under datasets, you just need to create a new folder for the dataset name. I would say your data and create. And once you have created that, under your data folder we just created, you can upload the files. So all you need to do is you just need to click on upload files and provide the two files which you can easily drag and drop, and click on upload. So those two files will be used when you are deploying the skill. And lastly, since you have uploaded and it's been modified already, and under pipelines, this is where you actually train your models. So if you actually go to create new, you can see three different options: full pipeline run, training run, and evaluation run. The difference is in the training run, it will focus on taking the input from the data sets we already provided and it will train its model. And by training, it will actually have different versions as well once the training is complete in that version models we selected. And in the evaluation, you can use that to take input and evaluate the models that you have trained, so that it will produce a set of metrics and set of logs. And in the full pipeline, it essentially runs a data processing function and training and evaluating the pipeline. So it will handle all three steps. So as of now, we won't be needing this function. So you might wonder how it's going to use the files we uploaded into data sets when you're actually publishing it. So by default, it will look for those schema JSON files in the data sets and use that to get itself published or deployed. But whenever you are doing the training or evaluation, you need to create a pipeline over here. So for now, let's cancel it and go to ML skills. And you can select create new, and these names has to be unique. So I can say ML skill for purchase orders. And you can select the package that you have deployed in ML packages, which is this one. So it asks for the versions as well. So I already have only the version 1, and so it basically defines your range. And you can have the descriptions as well. Into extract purchase order data, and here we have option to enable GPU if needed. So I can enable that, but I don't have any GPUs in my licensing scheme, so I'm going to have it disabled. And once you click on create, you can see the status as deploying. So this will take a couple of minutes to get itself deployed and to go through the data set that we have provided. And you can also see the status in the ML logs. This is where you will have all the information related to all the processing that happens here. So you can actually click on any of these logs and look for the information. So this will take some time. So let's give it a couple of minutes until it's deployed. Okay, so now you can see that the machine learning skill has already deployed and the status has changed as available. And if you actually go to ML logs, you can see the start time and when it was uh, published or made available. So it has taken a couple of minutes. So how do we use it in the document understanding framework? It's through the machine learning extractor. So how you build the machine document understanding workflow is a separate topic. So we'll be covering that in another video. So in this video, we'll only focus on how we can use it in the data extraction scope. And assuming that you have already gone through or you have some idea about document understanding workflows. If not, you can check the UiPath Academy, or else if I will let you know when I publish my second video on the creation of document understanding workflows. So I have a purchase order which I plan to read. So I have already done the basic configurations with the workflow. So now how we can use the machine learning model we created is by the machine learning extractor. So that we can use on the extractors. And once you add the activity to the workflow, it will ask for this machine learning extractor endpoint, machine learning skill, API key, and so on. So if you refresh uh, this ML skill and expand, you can see all the machine learning models that's available in the AI Fabric instance that you are connected to. So I already have 3 because I already had uh, a few other models created in another package or another project. So the model that we are looking at is under test documents ML scale purchase orders. So if you go back to Studio, we have that ML scale. So we can select that and we need to provide the API key and click on the get capabilities. And once you click on that, it will expand the fields available in the ML model for the purchase orders. And next, we can click on configure extractors and go to purchase orders. And these fields are already defined in your taxonomy. And if you expand these drop downs, it will have all the fields available in the machine learning model. So all you need to do is you just need to select the appropriate field for these defined fields that you already have. So let's do that quickly. And the name, the billing address. So all these fields are available in the model. um, delivery date, item amount, and the tax rate, total amount, and then we have the line items. To get to those fields, you just need to click on items, and from the drop downs below you will have access to these fields. You have the line number, line description, product code, unit price, quantity. Yeah, and I don't have the currency and then it's coming in as a separate one. So let's have it like this and click on OK. Yeah, since I have already done the workflow, the we can uh, directly run it through the uh, run option because the rest of the steps are already complete. So let me run it and show you. So basically it reads the purchase order file and show you the validation station. Yeah. So you can see that it has already captured most of the information from the purchase order document with the initial configuration we did in AI Fabric. So we have the PO number, PO date, and address, and also some line items over here. So it has a lot of information. And when it comes to line items, you can see that it has extracted almost all the available fields that we can access, except a few. So that's how you use the AI Fabric along with Document Understanding Framework to combine your AI models that you build in AI Fabric and to integrate it with the machine learning extractor in the UiPath workflow for document understanding. So whenever you come up with a AI model, and it can be a purchase order or it can be utility bill, invoice, receipt, basically any model that you create in AI Fabric, machine learning extractor is the activity that we need to use to connect the AI Fabric with document understanding framework. And through that, from the drop downs, you can easily access the fields that you have in AI models. So that's the end of this tutorial, and in the next video I will cover on how we can build a document understanding workflow, and we'll cover all the steps in the framework. So as of now, if you are not familiar with the document understanding framework, please refer to UiPath Academy tutorial which you have on document understanding overview, and there's another case study in the academy as well on creating a model for a framework for invoice processing. So thank you very much and see you in the next video.